everyone, and welcome to Races United Round 5 in Mexico. It's everyone's favourite mariachi track. It's going to be a little surprise in the intro as well for everyone. AT is going to be the final person to join the lobby, so in the meantime, I'm pretty sure we could probably just go straight into the national anthem of Mexico, and I can't lie. It is a very nice national anthem, so let's rise for the national anthem of Mexico. Everyone loves Mexico. Mexico, what a great place to be. And obviously the homeland of Checo, as RBG Darkness is, feeling like Checo. Indeed, we've got 16 people in the lobby now. I don't see any reason why we shouldn't start. I mean, we're already suited and booted even to get into the race. I see you, I won't try to pronounce that, but you said 25-1 and hi, welcome to the stream. I hope you enjoyed today's race. It's going to be a very nice one. Too bad Lucas Giles, someone who was competing in the championship, couldn't attend today. Top 3, as always, stay in your team VCs or come up to chill. Actually, I can pull you into the cooldown room. And yeah, if you want to interview after the race, then make sure to stay in your team VCs and we might pull you in for an interview. We're going to get everything ready. 1 second. I mean, we'll start up in 2 minutes time. Just make sure everything works on the stream end and nothing isn't not working. But yeah, this is everyone on the grid today. 16 people. It's going to be a good turnout. Remember, keep it nice and clean. RBG is going very well. I'm pretty sure this is the first race you're joining us for in Tier 2. I mean, I know you're not racing, but you are here in the chat, and that is the best part. I mean, all these people in the race are going to provide the entertainment and hopefully battle for their own championship. But Samim and AT, they have a very big championship battle with each other. 1 point separates them. Samim hasn't had the best recent races because of his wheel, and that's obviously set him down a bit. But yeah, everyone, if you want to like just spam and unspam the radio, let's see how many people can do it at once. Absolutely lovely. Yeah, I got some time. Let's go, man. I mean, hopefully this race goes a lot better than Tier 1. If you didn't watch Tier 1, then it was an absolute shambles. I mean, the box won the championship and McLaren won the constructors, but holy, I hope that never happens again. That was the most stressful weekend I've had in the league so far. And anyways, it's 7 o'clock now. You can all ready up and enjoy the race. Okay, let's go into the commentators room. So yeah, we've got 16 drivers ready to get straight into qualifying. And it's going to be a nice little battle because obviously the championship is getting very tight. and there's only 4 races left in the season, 1 sprint race left to go. Very little points left for grabs, which means this championship could come to the final race. I think it's going to be fun, yeah. It should be fun. I mean, we've got a lot of new graphics for the new season. But anyways, here we go then for Mexico. And here we go then for qualifying. It's going to be a very interesting one. It's dry skies all around. It's probably one of the longest straights in the final turn down the start-finish straight. 17 turns, a lot to negotiate, and some very tight turns, which should lead to some great overtaking. Anyways, here we go then to the Drivers' Championship, where AT took lead with 58 points. Samim dropped down to second. And Alpine also took lead of the championship in the Constructors, and only 5 points off of Red Bull with only 1 driver attending today. So here we go then, let's go straight into the stream, where we see the drivers leaving the pit lane, and let's get up some nice telemetry data we all love. Yeah, we all love to see that, right? Anyways, let's go. Why did that Alpine look very slow? I think he was letting out the other car. Who's the first person on track? I'm going to guess it's Samim. And Samim, the man in second place, is out on track first. And hopefully, it's going to be in for a very nice lap. He's going down in Sector 1, round off. Getting ready for the first lap of the session. I'm pretty sure we can have a look at the temperatures as well. Today it's forecast to get clearer as the session goes on, but there's no chance of rain whatsoever. 8%, very, very narrow. We don't know if it's going to rain in the race yet, but it seems to be fairly hot on track, which would mean those tyres are going to be doing their very best and producing some very nice lap times. And here we go then for Samim. He's getting ready for his lap, and hopefully for him it goes pretty well. His challenge is with AT, who is in this race, and he actually might be able to help himself in the Constructors if him and Opa can pull off a nice time. They've got the advantage over Red Bull and McLaren this weekend, or on this fine Monday. As here we go then, crosses the start-finish rate to begin his first flying lap of the session. He gets the DRS wide open, and he gets himself prepared for turn 1. How deep will he go? I mean, the track is definitely not up to grip yet, or up to the level which he wants. But it will be interesting to see what he can produce on this first run. And does very nicely. Get himself the DRS once again. Second time we'll open at this lap. Out of the 3, and it's a 28.7 in Sector 1. I'm pretty sure that's up for a 1:16 time maybe, from what I've seen. But there's still 2 sectors to negotiate. Anything can happen, and he keeps it nice and tight in that hairpin. Now into Sector 2. This is where you got to negotiate the S's, and it's quite hard to keep it nice and tidy throughout the entire sector without messing up. And it looked like he might have ran a bit wide there, but we'll soon find out with his lap time. It's a 57.1 split, and someone has beaten that Sector 1 time. It went down to a green from purple, but it was kind of expected, being the first driver on the track. And here we go then for Samim, round and penultimate corner, now going through the final turn. He's going to cross the finish line, and it's going to be a 1:16.6 for Samim. And I guessed it was going to be a 1.16. I'm just a man of many guesses. And I'm pretty sure, was it Elos who might have took away that fastest first sector? I mean, he was challenging for second in Singapore when Magellan took it away from him. It was Sector 1 where he got purple. And let's see what he can do to challenge Samim then as he crosses the finish line. It's going to be a 1:16.9. And is 2.6 temps off of Samim. So definitely got to find some time in his lap if you want to get up there into provisional pole. Dodge Demons, that's a 17.9, which is around a second off of what Elos set, and his teammate sets a 17.0, which is a tenth off of Elos. But we want to know when AT is going to come out on the track then. I mean, James manages to get a nice lap in, puts him up into P3, laps on, gets a 17.1, and that's putting him up into P4, and that Williams is his debut race in Tier 2. You might recognize him from Tier 1. He's moved down. He can make more Mondays, and hopefully can make the final 4 events, or the final 3 events after this. And also, let's hope for no red flags in this session, because there's been quite a few recently. And we're going to watch Stone Age, maybe? Oh no, Stone Age just invalidates as we start spectating them. Don't think Rolo's on a lap. He is flashing. Hello, Perfect Paddock. Welcome to the stream. And welcome to Racers United. Who is on a lap? I'm pretty sure everyone has set their first laps on the track. Is Skirl on a lap? Let's have a look at Skirl. He is flashing, so I don't think he is on a lap. Yeah. I don't think anyone is on a lap apart from... Let's actually go to Opa, who's on an out lap. Or JL Beppo, who's on that lap even. I misread that, I'm sorry. And, oh, wait, let me look at this helmet. Is that a fish helmet? Oh, that's very nice. I love the creative helmets in this game. It's like, I've got one with the horns on it. Very nice. All very nice. Yeah, I really don't think anyone's on a lap. You know who we're interested to see is when AT will get on his first flying lap. He's left it pretty late to get that lap in, and I'm pretty sure he's holding out his pace, or maybe he's just busy doing his real life stuff. And yeah, let's go to JL Beppo now, who's going to get himself ready for his first flying lap, and let's see where he compares to the rest of the grid. Now going through stadium and getting ready for the final corner. Let's see what the Mercedes man can do. He is his teammate up in P5. Let's see if he can beat that as he rounds the final corner down the start finish straight. And he's getting ready to open up that DRS. So let's see into turn 1. Let's see how deep he'll go. We only saw Samim on that so far, and Samim is actually on another outlap. He brakes just a bit further than the crane and tests himself up very nicely for turn 2. And turn 3 nails that chicane, now getting himself ready for the second help of DRS. And gets that nice and open as well. Let's see what it's going to be in sector 1 then for JL Beppo. Will it be purple? It's going to be 1/10 off Elos this time. So Samim did not go fastest in sector 1, as we do know now. And into the hairpin, very nicely keeping it very nice with the apex. And you love to see it. And he's kept it fairly clean throughout this lap so far. Maybe he's not giving it his all. And, oh, he's just hurling that car out on track. And Jim sets a 116.5. And that's going to put him up into provisional pole position by around 600ths of a second. And amazing time from him to get himself up there. What's your track on the calendar? Home track. My home track is Silverstone. And here we go then for JL Beppo rounding the final corner. Let's see what it's going to be for the Mercedes driver. It's going to be a 17.4. And there's going to be a 3/10 gap between him and his teammate. But this pack is looking very, very nice. Oh, very, very tight even. On this track, I mean, on this calendar, let me have a look. It probably will be Silverstone. I mean, who doesn't love Silverstone, let's be honest. Yeah, probably Silverstone, or maybe it's either Spa, Brazil, or Silverstone. That has to be my top 3. But I'm going to have to go for the home track, and AT still in the pit lane. I wonder when he's going to get out then. Who's on a lap? Samim is on a lap. Let's watch Samim as he rounds into, as he comes into the stadium section. What will he produce? I mean, he's purple in sector 1. He was up in sector... No, he's purple in sector 2. He's up in sector 1. As he rounds the final corner, it's going to be a 116.2. And 3/10 ahead of James now. It's just tiki-taka for that pole position. I'm a Red Bull fan. I am personally a Mercedes fan. I've actually got a Mercedes hoodie on right now. But we all have our preferences as long as... No, anyways, okay. Elos on a lap. It was purple in Sector 1, and it actually wasn't official purple. It wasn't a dud purple, which we see a lot in this game. I mean, Sector 1 on this graphic does mean Sector 1, as it does like pull the data directly from the game. And here we go then for Elos in Sector 2. He's definitely not one to mess with on the track. And he's looking for vengeance. Oh no, he spins out and oh! But Elos, he is very lucky not to have DNF'd. That could have been very easily his tyre in the wall. As Lepson on an invalid lap, is he going to begin another hot lap? Let's have a look. He is rounding that final corner, and it is going to begin another hot lap for Lepson. And Paddock, he is, Lepson here, is a diehard Red Bull fan. And oh, the broadcast seems to be messed up a bit there. Let's go into the onboard. And rides the curb quite a bit there into turn 1. That might have unsettled the car just a little bit. And is very very nice not to spin, or very lucky not to spin even. Just got perfect control on that car. And Lepton in Sector 1 is 600s up on Elos and goes purple. But we've got to remember, Elos, I don't think his original time did count when he got that purple before. So there might be a lot of time there left on the cards for the other drivers. But it is quite telling to see what setups people have went for. When we see purple in Sector 1, but only green in Sector 2. No, Lepson spins out and he is out of the session. He is not going to be as lucky as Elos and just make it away with wing damage. But he was on such a perfect lap and it all went so wrong for him. Oh no, that is horrible for the Williams driver. And he'll not be happy with that when he put in a lot of practice for this race and it all came crumbling down. We've got to remember that it could all go well for him still. And here we go then for James. He's going to get a nice tow off his teammate, Dodge Demon. I wonder if this is tactical or not. But here we go then. James starting his lap. He's going to be on that fight for pole position. And he is getting a very nice slipstream down the main straight. And this is probably where team game matters the most. And you probably might see this between the two Haas drivers as well. Two drivers known for their team game. And there we go. He jumps right out of the way for James. And that is a perfect team game played. And he's going to give him a slipstream once again, which is very nice as well. And he's going to move out of the way and he's going to let him take that Sector 1. He is down on Sector 1 though, so that dirty air might have got to him just a little bit. Or maybe he just didn't nail that turn 1 as much as he wanted to. But let's see what he can get in Sector 2. And will it be enough to challenge Samim? And hopefully it is. So we can see a very nice battle. There's Nova Gibson sets a 117.0. And Samim messages me on Discord. Let's have a quick look on my phone. Let's see if he's had a connection issue. He wants to report qualifying infraction. Oh, and he invalidates on his lap. And he dives into the pit lane. He's going to get himself ready for that next one. Wait there. Oh, Dodge Demon, don't cut the track, to give slipstream. There we go. I gave Samim, I don't know what Samim wanted. Who's on a lap? Elos is on another lap. Let's see if he can improve. I mean, he did improve on his lap when he did spin out. So hopefully there's still a lot more on the cards. And here we go then for Elos. He's going to finish off Sector 1 and get to that past. And oh, actually no, we are going to cut to AT, sorry. AT is going down the main straight. And actually no, let's go to Elos and then we can see how the time compares as Elos sets to Sector 1, which is fastest out of all. And here we go then into Sector 2. We're going to see if that turns green or remains purple, as AT is going to finish off Sector 1 in just a few seconds. And here we go. Is it going to be purple? I don't think it is purple for AT, but maybe he's got all of his time in Sector 2 and Sector 3. And he's 3 times down in Sector 2. It's not went his way. Let's see what he can do going into Stadium. Is it going to be enough to improve? It's going to be a massive gain if he does, and it will have to be a bit more if he wants to get himself on the front row. And here we go then for Elos round in the final corner. What's it going to be for the RP driver? It's going to be a 16.5, and he's going to go 4,000 faster than James, and that's going to put him up into P2. But AT backs out of the lap, so he's going to get himself ready for the next lap. and into stadium as well. Now preparing for his final, or not final run, his potential final run if it doesn't go right. And there's been 4 DNFs over the card, and they're always going to dive into the pit lane. He's going to get himself ready for that final lap to make sure he goes his way. And James on now lap. Who's on a hot lap? Is Gel Pepper on a hot lap? We'll have a look. He was 1.2 down on the pole time. Oh no, he's beginning the lap. Okay, here we go then for Gel Pepper. Shooting it down on the main straight. Absolutely. He's just a speed demon. That Mercedes goes down very fast. Must have a very nice setup. And the AlphaTauri is going to come out just behind him. It's going to be very interesting at the end. It's going to be a very tense battle for pole. AT might have left it a bit too late. One mistake and it's going to be all over for the McLaren driver, and his championship battle will be much harder as Samim is on provisional pole and he is in P16. And he's 2 times down in Sector 1, but it's an improvement on his Sector 1 time. And now into the hairpin once again. He takes a bit of sausage curb and doesn't really maximize his exit. Maybe that's where the marginal gains are between Samim and JL Beppo. And now in Sector 2, let's see what he can compare. I'm pretty sure he did invalidate on his previous lap. And oh, he invalidates again. As he rounds off Sector 2's 8 times down anyways. I think he's going to get ready to go again. In 18 now exiting the pits. James is beginning his hot lap. And here we are in Sector 1. He's only 8/100th down on Elos. And it is green for him. So at the moment it could be up for an improvement. He gets a bit of a snap on the exit. Just going to compromise his exit. Well, I just said exit twice. And now into Sector 2 is Samim leaving the pit lane. He's coming into the pits. I don't think there's going to be enough time for Samim to set that lap. Actually, there might be just with a few seconds to spare. So he's going to have to get in and out very fast. Oh no, Samim retires. He doesn't think anyone's beating that time. It's going to be a 3/10 gain if they do. Then James is still down on Samim's time. He's going to have to make some mass improvements in Sector 3 for him to transfer provisional pole. But that front row looks to be his as he rounds the final corner. And what's it going to be for the Aston Martin driver? It's going to be a 1:16.3, and he sets a purple Sector 3 and is only 1/10 off of Samim. And now AT, it's going to be the one and only lap for the McLaren driver. And there's a bit of traffic ahead of him, so they're going to have to space out very nicely. As what happened to the AlphaTauri, we don't know. But he doesn't have a time set, which is going to be crucial. As AT going through stadium, he's going to back off a bit from that Ferrari, who's in P13. He doesn't want to be backed up anymore in his lap. This lap's going to mean it all to him. It's 1 lap to get pole position. And here we go then for AT down the start-finish straight. Let's see what he can get in Sector 1. And we've got his live speed on the bottom left, going well over 200 miles an hour. And into turn 1, let's see how deep he goes. He goes very, very nice. And he knows his lap means it all. He's going to give it his all. And he wants this pole. As he now down the DRS straight. It's going to get a bit of a tour of that Ferrari, I assume. But he is catching onto that Ferrari very fast. And he's 1/10 down on Luca in Sector 1. Luca set a fastest Sector 1 overall. And he's up in P6. I think he's on the track now setting another lap. And has a very compromised line into the hairpin. I don't think this lap is shaping up the way he wanted. And he's catching up to that Ferrari once again, more and more. And he gets a bit slidey on the exit. But this is all time loss for the McLaren driver. And 1 lap might not be enough for the AT to set it on pole. And he's 7/10 down in Sector 2. He's setting himself up maybe for a P6 lap. And now into stadium, he's just about going to catch that Ferrari. Now, I don't think that Ferrari is going to improve, or he might improve marginally. But here we go then, rounding the final corner for AT. What's it going to be? We're going to see the Ferrari also set his lap. Ferrari goes P12, AT goes P4. He might actually recover 2 attempts at that final sector. But is going to finish off in P4. And he's going to have to make a massive charge down to Samim if he wants to get that victory. And now we're going to watch Elos. Oh no, he's on the lap. Yeah, everyone's finished off their lap then. So we've got 4 drivers in the 116s. and they are pretty spread out, but this midfield of P5 down to P11 is separated by around 4 tenths of a second. There we go. Samim gets that fastest in SQ even, short qualifying. There we go. Yeah, there's been some pretty nice gaps. I'm pretty sure Stone Age did invalidate on their lap. Not invalidate. Spin out and bin it. Spin it and bin it on their lap. It's gonna be interesting. This could be anyone's race, to be fair. Samim obviously looking to make a 2 for 2 in Tier 1 and Tier 2. He did get that win after the box got a penalty. So let's see if he can hold off the oncoming drivers. But this championship is shaping up to something very, very interesting, and RVG predicts that James is going to come first and Samim is going to retire. So you think Samim's luck is going to he's going to get bad luck once again? He has had bad luck in the past 2 races, but still all to play for in this championship with 4 races left to go, this being one of them. And obviously the sprint, that's worth 8 points. So there's going to be some points changes next season regarding finishes, who gets points, and even in the sprint race. So it's going to be very interesting, and I think there's going to be a bit more of a demand to try to get that pole position, to try to snag that extra point, and also for that fastest lap. And here we go then. And it's 5 red lights. And it's lights out, and away we go for Mexico. Samim gets a good start. James, though, on the other hand, doesn't get as well start as he wants. And AT and Elo side by side down the main straight. AT catching on to the Aston Martin. He's going to challenge him into turn 1. Samim losing out on straight line speed. He's going to be challenged in turn 1 maybe. He has to defend and goes off the track. And that allows James to maintain his P2. And AT to once again try get that hunt down onto the Aston Martin. But he does clear that Alpine through the first corner, and it's been relatively clean for all the drivers as James now begins his hunt for Samim and AT begins his hunt for James. And Sir Driveson and JL Beppo both scrapping for the position, and the AlphaTauri trying to get in on the action of Dragonflies and doesn't manage to do so. And JL Beppo all over the rear of Driveson. He's going to try and get that move, and I'm surprised he hasn't punted him. He goes off the track. We'll get a warning for that. And yeah, he's losing out a bit of time now. That might help Dragonflies though in his battle to get that P7 on the first lap. The Skirl actually all over the rear of Dragonflies, and Dodge Demon already gets a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. As Dragonflies goes off the track, Skirl around the outside. He's going to try and get the move done on those softer tyres and is unable to do so. He might try to get a better run down the main straight. But here we go then. Let's have a look at the straight line speed difference between all the drivers. Samim gets a 122.9. And James, I don't think he's getting that much down the main straight, but I would have thought he was getting a bit more. The Skirl trying to go on the racing line against Dragonflies isn't able to do so. He's losing out on straight line speed quite massively there. And Luca and Rollo into turn 1. Luca down the inside of Rollo. Rollo keeping up the inside, pushes off Luca, and Rollo manages to maintain that position. But Blaze also now gets a better run down the DR, well, the second DRS straight, and is in the 5th stream of Luca, but Luca, using that overtake, is just going to get that move done. Lepson gets the move done on Blaze, who is too eager on his own battle for P11, and he gets pushed off the track, but he gives up that position, as Luca and Rollo once again going for that battle. Rollo pushes Luca off the track again, and loses that position to Blaze and Lepson, dropping him down into P13. Been a crazy first 2 laps of this race, and I'm not too sure where the position the position changes. I'll have a look at that in a second. As Skirl is going to go, he's going to go for the switchback on Dragonflies, and what a move! And he defends that very nicely, and his charge up the field is continuing. The Samim sets a 119.6 now. 80 charging down on James. He does have more straight line speed, and he also has that slipstream. As Samim's already extended this gap to over 1.7 seconds. But more importantly, James and AT are not on the optimum tyres. Samim is on those mediums, which are a lot faster, so strategy may come into play later on in this race. And Lepson is running in the system of Rolo. Is he going to go for the late move down the inside? He's going to dunce him into a move, and he's going to let Rolo force him to give him space, and beautifully manages to get side by side and will get the DRS. Or does he? No, he doesn't. But there's a massive battle now for P10, that final point position. Everyone wanting that singular point to take it home for the team. Rolo runs wide. Luca also goes in deep and spins off. And Stone Age round the outside gets a move done on plays. There's been a change for P2. Samim spins out. AT now on P2. James, the new race leader. AT is going to be charging him down for that DRS and to try to take that P1. But more importantly, Opa now running up in P4. Great start from him. And Samim running 5 seconds or maybe even 7 seconds off of the lead. That spin has cost him quite a bit. And in the strategy game, it's going to cost him a lot as well. The Drysen's predictions so far have proved to be very accurate, showing that Samim is showing the inconsistency after winning in Monza, and Queen Stonehenge trying to get the better exit on the teammate. Gets the move done in the final corner. Did Rolo let him past or not? As Luca now all over the rear of the Ferrari is going to get him with the DRS. Actually, I don't even think he needed the DRS. There's though, with the DRS as well, is going to try and go for the move on Rolo, and is once again going to drop out 2 positions on that main straight and round the outside. He's going to try get the inside line for turn 2. Does so very nicely and secures that P13. As Stonehenge now being hunted down by Luca for P11, and Lepson managed to detach himself from the battle for P10. And Skirl and Jill Beppo, well, that might even be Drysen, going side by side as Beppo is trying to maximise that exit and doesn't manage to do so. Now Skirl's charge for Drysen is going to continue, but those tyres are going to get very hot soon. And Drysen, oh no, that was Elo who gets a 3-second time penalty. As Beppo in the wall, must have spun out. Dragonflies managed to capitalise on that and get into P8. Lepson up into P9. Stone Age nearly spins out as we're spectating them. Oh, keeping it very tight. Skirl manages to make that move up into P6 as well, but didn't see that. But going down this main straight, we want to know, when will AT get within striking distance as he gets that DRS open? I want to have a look at the speed difference between these two. And AT is only getting around 12 kilometers more down that straight. And it's not going to be enough if he wants to make a move from 7 temps back. And I think the pack is sort of spreading out a bit. But the main battle is with AT and James for the lead of the race. And let's see how he can perform this one off then. As he goes into, oh no, Beppo in the pits, gets a fresh wing on and those mediums. As Lepson loses 2 positions going into turn 1 out of turn 2. Must have had a little moment, because he did clear them by a couple seconds before. And now Luca chasing down Stone Age for that P9, and it's not going to go for the move, but it's getting tantalizingly close. There's Drysen and Dragonflies fighting for P7 now. Drysen on those harder tyres, it'll be harder for him to overtake. And RBG says, interesting, it almost happened. Maybe you are a prophet. Please predict me to win every race. Oh, and Opa and Samim, did they have a collision? I mean, I think Opa did just spin out. He's dropped down to P8, and that's going to allow Samim to get back up into P4. But Samim's going to have to make a massive comeback drive if he wants to get back up into first. It's definitely been a bit easier for A2, who didn't have the best qualifying session, and Drysen and Dragonfly side by side. Opa round the outside into the final corner is going to get that move done on Dragon, and now with the DRS might be even able to chase down Drysen in that Red Bull. Let's see what he can produce then. Down the main straight, Dragonfly's gaining on him with that overtake enabled, and now down the inside into turn 1. Opa might try to go for that switchback and actually just managed to defend that down the inside very nicely, and Dragonfly is going to have to hold off once again. And there's been another change for position for P10. Blaze managing to regain that P10. Lepson trying to fight to get within the to get that final points position, and Queen Stone Age going Going to try to go around the outside, and the team are moving swiftly into the inside, and it's going to force Rolo to go wide and give him the space. Going to try and get a better exit, but gets pushed off the track. And now Stone Age has to hold back. There's Dodge Demon and JL Beppo both fighting for that position. In P15, they're both pitted now, I think, and do not have to pit again. But it'll probably be likely with the tyre. Deg and JL Beppo trying to go for a very late move down the inside. Manages to force, not even force, trick Dodge into going off the track and gets that move done. And oh, there's been another change for this train. I think that's Dragonflies who spins out and is in the wall. Orp also in the wall, and that's them both in very low points and maybe even out the points as Lepson manages to get that very nicely and maintain that. Oh, I even get up into P9. And Skull and Samim fighting for the position. Skull gets the overtake done on Samim. Samim does not want this. Samim needs to get that overtake done again, but he will get that second helping of DRS, the Haas driver. And that's going to leave Samim in the dust. Those self-compound tyres definitely working a lot more as Lepson now in his battle with Blaze is going to try and get that move done. He gets a better exit, but he has to brake because the exit was so bad and his exit was so much better. And now Lepson in the DRS won't be able to do anything about that. I'm going to have to hold off again in that slipstream, or does he? Because Blaze doesn't get the best exit once again, and Lepson just getting the better lines, capitalizing on the exit of Blaze. Now we're going to go to AT 5 times. Now is the gap between these two. Let's see what it'll be at the end of this straight, and maybe even at the end of the second DRS straight. He gets that DRS wide open, so he definitely doesn't have more pace based on the setup. He does need that DRS to help tow him along down this main straight, and he's going to get, I think he got a better exit there because he does have so much more. And oh, he locks up going into turn 1. That might have cost him a few temps even. As Dodge Demon retires, but once again continuing his retiring streak in the league, and a virtual safety car is placed out on the track. And that might be a chance for people to come in the pits. Dragonflies coming into the pit lane. And let's pull up this start then for Dodge Demon. Dodge Demon has DNF'd in half of the races he's been to so far. I'm actually not 2/3 of the races he's been to, so 2 out of 3 races he has DNF'd in. And Orpa and Dragonflies both into the pit. Orpa needs to get that new front wing on with some mediums. He might be looking to take them to the finish. And Skull gets a drive-through penalty. That's going to be horrible for him. He was running super well on those points, doing very, very nicely. And it all comes crashing down for the Haas driver. As Pavone's GT, I'm not too sure who that is, joins into the session. Welcome, I guess. As we now see Skull, that's when will he serve this drive-through penalty? He will come out in traffic, I think, if he serves it now. He is going to come into the pit lane, but he won't be able to get off those soft tyres, which will no doubt be degrading more and more every lap. As AT now is going to begin his attack on AT and resume it, not AT, on James, and try and resume it. Last time these two were in the battle, it ended with a 0.008 gap at the line. So these two are definitely very tight rivals in this championship, and who knows, it might come down to the finish once again for these two. Let's hope it does, because it was definitely very interesting last time. Blaze actually only 3 times off of Lepson, who is having a good first race for the Williams. I think he's going to score more than triple of what the Williams have scored so far this season in this singular race. But it's definitely a one-man horse, being the only driver in that Williams. So maybe you should join up in the league if you want to try and give Lepson a bit of a push and help Williams prevail, as Blaze is actually catching up to him pretty nicely. And AT down the main straight, getting on James. He's going to get some massive gains. He's not even using that overtake. Neither is James, though. They're both saving it. And 3 tenths is the gap now. And let's see, will he try go for this move down the second DRS route? He gets a very nice exit there. But it'll all matter on his exit here. He needs to get more straight line speed out of it, and I don't think he does. But he will be very, very close. 4 attempts will not be enough for him to get that move done, though. So he's going to hold back another lap and hope that he can get the move done soon. And Blaze getting on Lepson. He's going to try and go for a late move down the inside. He's going to force Lepson to give space, and that's going to give him a way better exit. We've seen a lot of dummies so far in this race, and it's definitely proven to work. And I don't think he's trying to go for that overtake either. He's going to sit behind in that dirty air and wait until he can get that overtake done. And we're going to cut over to Queen Stone Age and J Beppo. We're both fighting each other for that P13 with when everyone else boxes. It's going to be a bit higher up in the field than that. And now into turn 1, he does get a better exit. You cannot deny him that, and it's just doing those wider lines. And beautiful exit for Queen Stone Age. And Opa out the session, retires in the pits for the 3rd race running, and once again will get a qualifying ban. Doing so, has not finished a single race this season. Opa hasn't managed to do that. Yeah, and as we see, Stone Age get that move done on Beppo. Great stuff. And AT now is 2 tenths off of the Aston Martin driver. And tries to dummy him in to a worse exit. And I wonder, when's he going to go for this overtake? He's been charging up the battery for quite a while now, but so is James. So he's going to be able to put up a nice defense if he wants to. And, oh, Rolo was 200ths off of Gibson before, and they made their way up through the field very nicely as well, as Blaze still unable to get that move done on Lepson and it's just sitting behind. And now the gap is closer than it's been throughout this entire race through Stadium. It might be AT's chance of taking the lead of this race, as Samim and Elos both losing time to the front 2 runners, definitely towing each other along. Here we go then, 5 tenths since the gap. Let's see if he can try to get this overtake done. I think he's just saving the ERS again. He did lose that a bit on the exit. And that dirty air is definitely not going to be helping his tyres whatsoever. But that heavy defence from James will also not be good for his tyres as well. And AT definitely gets a better exit there, but does get a bit slidey. So I'm going to give that one to James. And yeah, the gap pretty much staying the same as what it was before. Very, very low off each other. And now Beppo is fairly close to Stone Age. I'm not too sure the move will be solidified yet, as Blaze is now going to try to get a better exit than Lepson, but doesn't seem to be the case. And 1/3 through this race already. It's definitely been a very interesting race, and it's definitely been a lot more jam-packed than Tier 1's race in Monza. But this battle for the lead is going to be very, very tense, and maybe if we get a safety car, it could be a 4-way battle for the lead to the finish. Maybe even 5 or 6 car battle. But I doubt that. And now, 80 dropped off a 10th on that last lap to James, and it's going to look to try to gain some of that back. But is he using that overtake? No, he's not. He's staying in that DRS, he's staying in that slipstream, but his tyres will definitely be in a worse position compared to James. And James definitely has that upper hand by being in the lead and having more straight line speed. The AT hasn't really been able to capitalise in those corners as well as he might have thought he would have. And once again, for AT, getting super close to James, but it's just going to affect his tyres more and more. He doesn't want to be this close, I'm assuming. Beppo and Stone Age both fighting for that P13. Once again, it goes in the hand of Beppo. Once again, Stone Age had a little error, and that caused them to drop to P14 or lose out to Beppo, in other words. Now AT will have the DRS once again, and if he does get a better exit, it'll be maybe... Actually, I'm pretty sure he lost out going through there. With the DRS, doesn't matter whatsoever. And you'd let's have a look at the gains once across the start finish straight. And here we go. It was a 500th loss on the last lap again, so he is losing out marginally, and it might be his time to kick on that overtake. But it's in sector 2 where he's losing out the most, quite ironically where that requires possibly the most downforce. Actually, I'd say sector 3 requires the most downforce, but for high speed cornering, I'm not too sure. You definitely need a bit of downforce to get you through there. And it's super close once again. I think he's managed to claw back a couple hundredths and is very, very hot on the tail of James. He's getting a bit desperate now, I think. He wants to get this move done before the pit window. Actually, it could come down to a pit window move. It's Rolo and Blaze. Blaze comes into the pit lane. What Blaze? What Blaze? What's Blaze gonna put on? I'm pretty sure the hard pit window opens in around 6 laps maybe. Or maybe even 5 laps, 4 laps. When it's a fresh wing for Blaze, as well as some hard tyres to take him to the end. So it might be 22 laps. Maybe. Let's see what AT can get on the exit of the final corner. Will it be enough? I don't think it will be. 7/10. Yeah, he's lost out another chunk of time. And yeah, he lost out 16 thousandths on that last lap. So definitely needs to gain a bit more, but it actually might be better for AT to lose out this time because it means he can go later on the brakes. His tyres are going to be conserving just a tiny bit more. But that exhaust of James will definitely be pushing out more and more hot air as the laps go on, and I think it might be Skull's opportunity to get the overtake done on Dryzen, who gets a bad exit. And there's a yellow flag for Stone Age in sector 2. And now for Skull down the main straight, 3 tenths is a gap. Surely this is easy pickings for the Haas driver, and it is, as Dryzen really unable to defend that whatsoever as that DRS gets opened. Dryzen will try to take that inside line, but he just sees that Haas driver again and again and again. Is he going to drop in that slipstream, or is he going to try to hold his own line? He is going to try force Skull into a mistake and go down the inside, and that only would end badly for him. I mean, it was a good attempt. Oh, there's been a change for lead into the final corner. AT takes the lead off James. James must have had an error, but now it's James's time to run in that dirty yell. Will he get him back straight away? Actually, no. AT gets the DRS, which means he's going to be able to pull away, or at least maintain that P1 for the lap. And let's see if he can pull away from James. And I'm sorry, we missed that change for lead. We've been anticipating that for quite a while. And here we go then for AT. Well, actually for James even, but AT once again doesn't get that DRS, and Sameem into the pit lane on those mediums. What's he going to put on? It's going to be some hard with a fresh wing as well. So a lot of drivers getting wing and some wing damage. And now, let's see if James can make the gains. Yeah, I actually didn't realize Sameem had damage, but he is going on to his second stint now. And with the DRS, he's gaining so much more than Sameem. And it's even into turn 1 down the inside. That speed is just absolutely incredible. And with the DRS once again, will he be able to get a move down the inside? He's not even using overtake, and he's just got that super speed. He definitely has got more straight line speed than AT. I think that goes without saying. And RBG is rooting for James in this battle. I think it will be a championship battle between these two if Sameem can't hold on. And he has pitted Sameem, but remember, These two are yet to pit, but they have a very significant gap to the rest of the field. And into stadium, you can see AT is holding the zone in this sector because he does have more downforce, and that is obviously going to affect James if he's running in the dirt. Yeah, he's not going to get the turn in which he wants, which he would have had when he was in the lead of the race. But he is just going to gain it all back on this main straight, and who knows if he gets maybe even a 10 closer and uses some of that overtake, that P1 will be his again. And I think he's starting to realise with the tyres falling off, that might be the decision he wants to make very soon, because AT doesn't want AT to get ahead, and AT does have a penalty. When did he get that? It's a 3-second penalty, and James is running without one, so he's going to have to pull a huge gap over AT. Oh no, AT is going to have to pull a huge gap over James. He's going to have to pull out of this DRS if he wants any shot at getting this race win. But James might just be able to claw back one victory on AT, as he didn't manage to do so by 0.08 of a second last time out. And there you go, you can see this is where he is affected the most by that dirty air. But with the DRS, once again, it's just going to gain so much more. And I reckon, oh, Samim gets ahead of Rolo into turn 1, not even turn 1, on the main straight. And now for James in stadium, if the gap maintains, if the gap stays the same as it is now, he's most definitely going to be able to challenge that move if he so wants to. And it'll be around, she's going to be a bit controversial. I don't think he's going to be able to dive it down the inside unless it's a late lunge, and if he used the overtake, it definitely would have been a move on the table. Boys doing good. The box, actually, if you wanna run into the chill VC, you know, I can do a mid-race interview. No, AT gets a bit slidey there. The box's curse has given into play, and with the slipstream, James down the inside of AT is going to challenge for that P1 once again, and AT holding the zone very nicely. James trying to go for the switchback, will have to sit behind, but AT nearly lost it all with that tiny mistake. Wow. The box saying just how good AT was doing before, and he gets another 3-second time penalty. This is great for James. James is going to be enjoying this one very nicely. He knows he doesn't have to take any risks. There's Samim set at 119.4. And I think the box has jinxed out his teammate very much. But these two have had a lovely battle, and let's hope Samim can get himself into the action as well. And who's going to dive into the pit lane first? I'm pretty sure the pit window is open for those hard tyres now, and they are both diving into the pits. Okay then, let's see who's going to come out on top as he exits the pit lane. And I'm fairly certain they're all going to come onto the same tyres, but let's hope. Actually, I'm pretty sure James will be praying AT gets a slower stop. No, he doesn't. And they both get fast stops. And that allows Elos to take charge of this race. And Samim gets a 3-second time penalty now. There's Rolo and Skull. Oh, Skull in the wall. Unfortunate for him. And Samim gets over Gibson in the pit lane and is up into P5. His charge is going to begin with Luke now. Is Luke pitted? Have a look. Oh, Luca hasn't pitted. Neither is Elos, so I'm pretty sure Samim will be able to take that P4, but it's not what he wanted. After starting on pole, he's just had an unfortunate race, I would say. And here we go then. For Samim, 15 seconds is a gap for Luca. So yeah, he should be able to jump him in the pit lane. I'm pretty sure the average pit time is around 24-25 seconds. Maybe. And, oh, James has lost out 2.8 to AT. So he doesn't have that DRS. Something might have happened in the pit lane with him then. Higher diff should protect the tyres a bit more. Okay, so AT is, I don't know, the box is the engineer, is engineering AT to victory. He is telling them that those tyres should last out a bit more, and with the 2.2 gap, he's hoping that James does get that, does get a warning. We're going to actually have a look between these two. Let's see how many warnings he's got. Let's see how much he's going to be preying onto then. Incidents. Oh, there's a lot of Aston Martins, but not the one which we're looking for. I think he went this race pretty incident free. I'm pretty sure James is running without a warning. Oh no, he did get a penalty. He got a penalty. We missed that out just as we were checking to see if he got any warnings. I knew there was a lot of Aston Martin ones, but AT suddenly has leaded this race once again. And the box says game on as Elos now dives into the pit lane to get those mediums on, and AT sets a fastest lap of a 1:18.2. If he is protecting those tyres, then he's protecting them very, very well. And James is getting a bit back on those straight, but without that DRS, AT is just going to be able to pull away more and more. And AT might have been wondering what the scorecards would have looked like if he didn't get that extra 3 seconds. And might be regretting that very much so. On the hands of the ex-Alpine driver AT. Yeah, Ollie is rooting on for his ex-Alpine driver. Obviously AT wanted a full-time drive somewhere, and there was an open seat in McLaren, so you're put there. And now AT is losing out just a tiny bit to James, but as we heard from the box, he is going for that tyre saving strategy, so it might be all right for the McLaren driver, as yeah, he's dropped out that 3 seconds once again. So in sector 2 was where AT was losing out the most before, but it seems to be where he's gaining the most now, and in sector 3 as well he's also going to make some mass gains. But as across the finish line, let's have a look and see where they come out, as we now see AT cross the finish line. Let's have a look at James. James lost out 1/10 on that final lap, so sector 1 is definitely where he's losing out. Or, yeah, that's where AT is losing out the most, and that's where James is getting the most, which is pretty reasonable considering they both, well, considering James has a higher speed setup. Let's have a look as they both go through, go down the second DRS thread. Let's see what the top speed is. It's 297 for AT, and it's 296. Oh, 196. So is it? No, 296 for James. So that might be a marginal gain from AT there, which does mean the better exit was at play. And this is your first reminder to vote for Driver of the Day at racersunited.net/vote. Get that vote in. Your vote matters. And yeah, that is it's been a pretty hectic race so far between the top two, and Dryden out of the session. Will that bring out a safety car? Virtual safety car is out. Will it be a full safety car? And this is crucial if AT wants to come into the pit lane, or James wants to come into the pit lane. I think James will have the advantage, and neither of them dive into the pit. But it wouldn't have been the type of safety car which Samim was looking for, which would have been the full safety car. Same with Elos. But it might be just a tad bit relieving to AT, who was able to maintain the gap which he kept in Sector 2 and Sector 3. And Sector 1 will not be of any issue to him, which is going to help him gain just a tiny bit more time on James when this lap gets back underway. 12 laps to go, 2/3 through the race now. And it is still far from over for these two in the lead. And there we go. The green flag running once again. And did James have a moment? 5 seconds. That is a huge gap now between them two. James is going to have to put on the drive of his life if he wants to get within that time range of AT. He must have had that moment under the BSC then, and it must have ended just as he was getting back underway. It might have even got to drive through penalty infraction. And he is going to get the DRS off of that Mercedes, and will he use the overtake going down this main straight? Let's see as he gets the DRS. Whoa, does he? Oh, he actually might have missed the detection zone, which won't be nice for him, as he is clawing back 5 temps on 80 since the VSC came in, but this time he knows that that time will matter to him, and all the time he gains will have to be gained very much so. It could be around a 1/10 per lap gain, that is providing the 80 or James don't get any more penalties. Actually, it might be a bit more than 1/10 gain per lap. But he might charge up that ERS and use it all in one straight and catch 80 off guard, put him under the pressure, and then force him to drive a bit faster, which might unsettle him and lose him a bit more time. And no, it depends how he bites under the pressure. As Rolo into the pit lane once again. What's it going to be for Rolo? Is it going to be a fresh wing? No, it's going to be some fresh mediums. And he's going to come out in P11 as Blaze passes him to get the final point position. And Lepson, we haven't seen much of him since the start of this race, is running up in P6. And is doing very nicely. And also AT. Let's have a look at the time gains between these two. Oh, that one doesn't work. This one worked. It was a 1/10 gain, 1/10 gain for James on that last lap. So he's doing what he needs to do at the moment to maintain or even close in on that gap. And is doing so very nicely. As we now see through sector 2. Let's see what the time gain will be. And with all these cars being lapped, it will be good for AT to, not even AT, it'll be good for James to get some DRS on them. When will Rolo get out of the way? That's if he gets out of the way at all. He will get the DRS on Rolo through here. So that's going to help him out just a bit more in his battle. And there we go with the DRS open. Let's see what he can produce through stadium section. It's only been a marginal gain. Oh, she knows it's been a massive gain on AT, and once again, that's another 10th gained. It's not going to be cut. No, they're not going to come close physically on the track. However, it will come close to the time penalties. Let's see, he makes his charge down the main straight once again. He uses that overtake, and 6 temps is the gap between these two, technically with the penalties applied. So once again, he's doing what he needs to do to maintain that gap, and he gains 4 temps on that last lap. So AT might be a bit under pressure now, as we've seen over Gibson. Once again, getting very close to Lepton, and it might be his chance to try and take that P6 away. Both of these running without penalties, and down the inside, isn't able to get it done. But will try get the better exit and get himself with the DRS down the main straight, which he will be able to do with that 3/10 gap, and does go for a bit of a different lap to Lepson. But here we go then. Let's see how this plays as he's got the DRS. Running in that slipstream of Lepson, and down the inside is going to get that move done very nicely into turn 1. He will get that second help in the DRS again, but Lepson will not be looking and will not be very happy letting that go. He's going to try get back at him, but he won't be able to with no DRS. And James now shooting down the main straight. I think he's gained another 2 temps on 80, or 3 temps even on that last lap. So that means the gap is going to be very, very close between both of them. And it's 4 temps. That is what the gap is. And James looks to be closing that very nicely, but we've got to remember AT is on a tyre saving strategy, so it might come down to potentially the last lap of this race to see who comes out on top. And Lepson has dropped out with that DRS of Nova. Actually, no, he gains it. He actually gets it by 6,000th of a second. So now... Actually, no. I think the detection's almost there. I don't think he's got that DRS then. Let's see as he goes past the... Oh. Yeah, Beppo out of the session. Will that be a safety car? There is a full court safety car now out on the track. And that will come to relief of Samim, Elos, and especially James. But it'll come to the distraught of AT. And surely AT has to go for some sort of alternate strategy if he wants to come out with this victory. And dives into the pit lane. Let's see what Tyra's going to put on. Will James come into the pits as well? James is going to come into the pits. Will Elos and Samim come into the pits? I think Elos could gain the lead, but he will be at a massive disadvantage to AT on the softs. And James also coming on to the soft tyres. So it'll be very tight at the finish. Elos into the pit lane. Will Samim come into the pits? He will be at risk of being overtaken by Luca if he does come into the pits. And the box is definitely not too pleased. But with JL Beppo now out of the session, it's going to be very close at the finish of this race. And Samim into the pits. Will Luca come into the pits as well? Or will he try to snatch that P4 away from Samim? And Luca is staying out, which means Samim is going to lose that position. It was running also well for the race leader AT, but we've got to remember now, James, with the 3 seconds less in penalties, will have that 3-second advantage over AT. And although that gap was closing before, it's going to be super close now, and AT is going to have to pull something off very special if he wants to win this race. And Skrull and Lepson into the pit lane. Lepson up into P6. Samim drops into P7, and Samim drops off into P6. And I wonder, everyone in chat, who do you think is going to come out on top in this race? Let us know. This is Samim's chance as well with no penalty. Oh, actually, he only has 3 seconds. This is great for Lepson and Nova Gibson to make some massive gains on the other drivers. Once the safety car comes in, it might come in this lap, it might come in next lap. We'll have to find out, but it will be a 5-lap sprint to the finish or a 6-lap sprint to the finish, depending on when it comes in. If it comes in this lap, it'll be 6 laps. If it comes in next lap, it'll be 5 laps. And Blaze gets a 3-second time penalty under the safety car, running down in P10. And let's see. Let's have a look at the position gains throughout this entire race. And this is a good reminder, since nothing is really happening on the track, to get your vote in for Driver of the Day at Race Unite on F4/roll. This race, though, might come down to the wire, so I would hold off on your vote. But AT, so far, if he can pull off this victory, he's definitely a very tight contender for Driver of the Day. James and Elos both managed to hold off the position, but maybe if James manages to hold on, he might be a contender as well, because he has held on very well to AT so far in this race. And if Samim can make this comeback, maybe he's your Driver of the Day. It all depends on who you found the most interesting throughout this entire race. And Lepson's also done a great debut drive with no penalties. You've got to remember that. Same with Nova Gibson, both got no penalties, so they are bound to make some gains if they can hold on. And it actually could be for the lead, depending on how close this battle is. It is super close. So don't count anyone off the chart yet, and the safety car will be staying out for another lap, meaning it will be a 5-lap sprint race to the finish line. And it's going to be very, very interesting as all the drivers now preparing for that safety car to come in. Let's have a look at the fastest sectors so far. Rolo dominates Sector 1 for 29.1. AT dominates Sector 2 for 28.9. And James dominates Sector 3 with a 19.9. So Rolo might have more straight line speed. Could all come down the setup. It's all going to come down to the setup. And yeah, I'm excited for this finish, and it's great to see that we've had an entire dry running session once again in Tier 2. Definitely hasn't been super kind to the drivers so far on the track. In the first 2 races of the season, there was no dry running whatsoever. I mean, it's great to see some dry racing in Mexico, the land of the mariachi, and AT seems to be the favourite to win, but actually I think James, the underdog, is probably the new favourite to win given the penalty situation. Ferrari being Ferrari, both out of the points. They are struggling so bad, or so much even, in this championship, only holding on 5 points, and if it stands the way it is at the moment, they can drop the last in the constructors. And the safety car is coming in at the end of this lap then. Let's go. Going to be some great running to the finish line. And AT is going to be leading the pack. That start finish rate though will be grueling for him, as James, as we've seen before, does have more straight line speed. But when will he go? So we're going to be up to the McLaren driver. When will he lead the field on this restart? And he's rounding the final corner. And there we go. He's went very early, and has James caught him? He might have caught him off guard a bit, but James, with the slipstream, might be able to charge him down into turn 1. I think AT might have been able to hold the zone though. Let's see if anyone's charging each other down into the turn 1. And Queen Stonehenge out the session on the main straight. Had a collision, surely. No safety car though, very nice. And that is one of the Ferraris definitely out of the points, and there's been no position changes going through turn 1. And Smeem gets a 3-second time penalty, so that's a 6 seconds in penalties. That's going to be great for Lepson, who's charging just behind. And now for Nova Gibson, down the inside of Luca. He's going to try get him on the brakes, and goes side by side, and oh, Luca forces them off the track. But Nova Gibson remaining down the inside, goes to Meme and gets 2 overtakes in 1 corner. That's an amazing overtake. But we're still got to remember, he is losing out on penalties, and Lepson also makes 2 overtakes to get himself up into P5. And is now charging down onto Meme and is doing some great progress, and Skirl out of the session. Oh, will that be another safety car? It's going to be another safety car. And once again, it's going to be very haunting for that McLaren driver. And AT surely now, those 6 seconds are coming to haunt him. In the box once again, jinxing it. But Lepson is actually putting himself in a very good position to win this race. Same with Nova Gibson. They're going to be very tight contenders with 2 DNFs on that safety car restart. Definitely cost them quite a bit. But it looks like that Ferrari will be scoring a point today, no matter where he finishes. And Skirl out of the race, as well as Queen Stonehenge. It's unfortunate for them, must have got a bit too into the restart. And now, I'm fairly certain the safety car will come in with 2 laps to go, or maybe even come in next lap. Actually, it has to come in next lap if we want 2 laps of racing. And once again, I'm pretty sure throughout the entirety of this league, there's been quite a lot of safety cars out on the final 2 laps of the race. I mean, we've had in Tier 1 the safety car finished the race for us. Miami 2 laps to go. There's just been safety car after safety car in every race, especially near the end. But there was definitely a lot. And RVG Darkness says first on debut is possible, and you're right, it is definitely possible. Let's have a look at the penalties above and who we are definitely certain who Lepson will pass. I'm pretty sure he could get up to P2 at least, or maybe even P3 at least. P3 at least. A good old safety car to finish off the race, that's what everyone loves. And it will come in with 2 laps to go. That's going to be very, very interesting then. No DRS until the finish, so everyone's going to be saving up that ERS. They're going to be using it on those final 2 laps. And Lepson might want to get his elbows dirty. All he has to do is not lose out 6 seconds to the lead car. Actually, no. He will have to get up through the field to James and Elos. So he has to stay within 3 seconds of James and Elos. But he also has to stay within 6 seconds of AT. And that race victory will be his. And I'm too sure how that's going to work out at the finish. So I'm very happy that I'm not the one to dictate that. It is a game with its rhythmic logic settings, however. RBG is rooting for Lepson now, and he was rooting for James before, but Lepson might be the secret underdog in this race. Hasn't been running in the top 5 for the entirety of the event, but could take it on this final 2 laps with the help of 2 safety cars and a lot of time penalties. So let's see how this race will finish. And once again, predictions in the chat. There's definitely been a bigger shift for the lead than before. Who's going to win this race? And the safety car is going to come in at the end of this lap once again. Let's see if AT can pull off the same gap as he did to James before on the other safety car restart. And this is the second safety car in the matter of 4 laps, and it's the only 2 safety cars which have occurred throughout this entire race, apart from the VSCs, of course. And Ollie thinks that the box is going to win, which is the box always wins. That is very right. But here we go for AT, and he's went early once again. Has he caught James off guard again? James definitely not as alert as he might have wanted to be. And now, as the race gets underway once again, Luca spins out, Blaze spins out as well, and that's a position loss for them two. And James charging down into turn 1, won't be able to get the move done. So me might be charging down on Eloso, and Lepson trying to just stay and maintain the gap. If we start with the penultimate race of this, the penultimate lap of this race has begun, and it's a 5-car battle for the finish. I'm pretty sure AT and Samim are both knocked out of this victory today. But Lepson is the one who could take it away from all of them. And he'll be driving his heart out because he knows this could be his. And we actually are going to do a gap to the leader then. He is only 2 seconds off the leader. And all he has to do is just lose this amount next lap. And that race victory is his. But he is losing out quite a bit to the rest of the field. And all the people in the back have to do is just finish the race, and they've got some free points. Nova Gibson gets a 3-second time penalty, and that's going to knock him out of any contention of getting that victory or even on the podium. But I'm pretty sure at this point, with Samim and Elos both fighting for position, that's going to help Lepson go closer to that potential win. James holding on to dear life though, as AT has pulled a 1.2 second gap as he starts the final lap of this race. It's still anyone's race to have, and James will be the one looking to benefit the most out of this, and Lepson is going to have to put in a champion's drive and put in a time trial lap on this final lap to make sure he gets his race win. And Samim once again getting a better exit than Elos, both fighting for that position, and I'm pretty sure as it stands at the moment, Lepson is in contention to win this race. He's going to have to claw back just a tiny bit more time. James is keeping it too consistent on the rear of AT, and this is going to be his sector to gain it all. And yes, as it stands, he is going to be out of that 3-second range, and this race victory will be going to James. So he's going to have to pray on a James mistake, or maybe even on him to just gain a bit more. But it's going to be very close at this finish, and Samim once again trying to battle Elos, hoping Elos makes that mistake, and he's going to go down the inside into stadium. And when he get it done, no, he doesn't. And AT is going to round the final corner, but he will not win the race. And he gets a bit slidey on the exit, and that might be better for Lepson as he rounds the final corner. He doesn't win the race. James is going to momentarily take it, but for Lepson, as he crosses the finish line, will he win? He comes second. What will the gap be between these two? 8/10 of a second or 9/10 of a second. And once again, another very close finish in this race. But Lepson, what a great drive to take P2, and James wins the race after a splendid 3.9 second gain after that safety car came in. And AT lost out quite a lot of positions on that final lap. But Lepson, definitely my driver of the day, and gets himself on the second step of the podium in his debut race. Definitely what he would have been looking for. And as we'll see, James for the first time in Tier 2, missed out by 8 thousandths last time, is going to step on the top step of the podium this time. He's going to see Lepson and AT, his championship rival, stand there in first place. And that's going to be great for him in the championship standings, as Samim is nowhere to be seen on that podium. And once again, is going to make some significant gains in the title fight. And there we go, getting the bubbly out, getting all over the team members, as Lepson is going to be one very proud man. And what a great race that was. We're going to cut over to the cool down room momentarily. We're going to get all these incidents just before that. And we'll get everyone into the cool down room. So that's AT, Lepton, and James.
No words, man.
Just waiting for these to join the team VCs.
Yep.
Okay, James has to go. We'll get Lepton in. Is Lepton alive? Oh, there we go. He's here. I guess you two. I mean, oh, let me just put him in McLaren and then let's put him in the cooldown room. Okay, there you go.
Yo. Jakey boy.
Yo yo.
Oh my god, man. What happened, lab? What did you saw anything happen or?
On lap one, I mean, there were a couple incidents, but it was alright.
I got sent around twice in one lap.
Imagine if that never happened. You could have won the race.
Bro, I was... Yeah, no, yeah. It's a long story there. No. But yeah.
AT got very close to the victory there, but those final two safety cars did mess him up quite a bit.
Yeah, with 9 seconds, like, yeah. It's fucked up, man. He was clearly the fastest, but yeah.
I mean, yeah, it was really only 6 seconds. It's just like the first safety car, you know, it's whatever. But then the lap after, some dude decided to retire on track, causing another safety car when I was in a winning position, dragging out 1.5 seconds per lap. If it doesn't retire and break the rules, I actually just win. It's so annoying.
Yep. I've seen interesting things. Also, in the quali, the Aston Martin guy, or I think it was the Aston Martin guy, was cutting 2 corners. Was cutting 2 corners to give his teammate double slipstream. Like, yeah, that's not right.
Oh, James or the other guy?
Yeah, like, one of the Aston Martins was James. So.
Yeah, because his teammate was, yeah, well.
Both penalties and I win. GG, Jake.
I mean...
Why are you laughing? Huh?
But what?
No, I couldn't get the gap close to P1 because the guys, Samim and the other guy in front of me, were fighting like there was no tomorrow. So if I'm getting close to the gearbox, like one spin and I lose my own race, like, yeah, kind of hard.
We definitely thought you had a chance at the victory there.
Same, but yeah. I want to see LeBron back. I'm watching the replay right now.
Yeah.
Are you on controller by any chance, AT? AT? Is he here?
Who?
You?
Yeah, I'm here.
Are you on controller by any chance?
Yeah.
Ah, okay, yeah.
That makes turn 1, 2, and 3 nightmares, actually.
I was watching your input on the quali lap, and I saw it. The input was a bit like
Oh yeah, I mean that.
controller heavy.
I mean that could probably because like it was like my first lap like of the day, and I forgot to save the setup I had used in TT, so I just used an old one like 4 or 5 months, and just risked it. So I had no grip, and then I had to invalid the first lap for some reason, like a knobhead. And,
Yeah, I saw it. I saw that. Yeah.
yeah, and then I just wanted to go safe.
Okay. Let's see this replay. Yeah, break. I'm on the 8. What? Okay, that's interesting. But who is that? Luca? No.
No, it's just
I might need to see it in T8 mode, but yeah, no, yeah, you deserve to win there, but yeah, didn't happen
Yeah,
because
but like-
penalties are heavy here, man. Like it's always penalty.
yeah, but like the 6 seconds, it's whatever. It was I lost the car a couple of times, got a warning. It happens. It's just stupidity. But like literally 2 safety cars in the last 6 laps. It's so
Yeah,
unheard of.
Yeah, but there should be a safety car earlier because
Oh yeah,
2 times in the essence somebody losing it with 7 people around them and they just put out the VSC like. Oh.
yeah. It's just annoying that they don't have like a kind of setting so I can like press it to just take 3 of my seconds in the pit lane.
Something like that. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, and that would be so amazing because then I would just taken them like under safety car or on or VAC or something like that and just had to do the overtake instead of having to drag out 6 seconds and 3 in 1 lap.
Yeah, no, yeah, I know the feeling about that. Yeah, I drove very, very safe in the middle section, of in the essence, like.
Yeah.
Because I lost it in quali, I lost it there, but yeah, I did 2 laps in a row, and my tires were probably overheated. I think. Yeah.
Oh yeah, actually, yeah, that's the biggest problem in like the middle sector. If your tires are just a bit overheated, you just lose it instant.
Yep. Oh well. Are you not streaming anymore, Jakey?
What? What?
You don't? Huh?
We're still
Are you
live.
still streaming? Oh.
Are you still streaming?
Yeah, we're still live.
Okay.
Oh wait. Maybe I need to get another view on the first one, but Jake, can you watch or no?
After the
Yeah,
race?
you can also.
After the stream.
Okay, then. What an interesting first 2 laps, like let's say it like that. I get a ping or what?
Okay, now we're gonna go out the co-lab room now. Let's go to the ending screen. I don't think there's anyone waiting in the BC. Actually, no. You're gonna do one interview today with the Haas driver because we didn't really see what happened with him. Pull him off the BCs until he gets up to here. Hello. What happened on that final lap of the race?
Oh, yeah, very unfortunate. Like the lap where I spun out in the fast S section, like the first right-hand curb. My tire clipped into the curb and wouldn't let go, so I spun, and unfortunately the wall was pretty close and I hit it. So yeah, that was very unfortunate.
You're running very nicely early on in the race, and then you got a drive-through penalty under this VSC.
Right. That was also very unfortunate, I guess. The VSC came out because of a retirement on track, I believe. I always try to watch the Delta very closely under virtual safety car because I don't want drivers behind me to push up towards me under the virtual safety car, which is possible if I'm too slow. And I was like half a second, so 0.5 behind the Delta, and I was like, okay, I can roll through this corner, and I rolled through the corner, and I got to like plus 0.1 seconds, and that in that exact moment the virtual safety car came in, and it instantly got me a drive-through penalty because I overstepped the Delta. Didn't give me any time to revert it. I just drive-through penalty.
So you definitely lost some big points for your team in the constructors end today.
Definitely.
I'm sure Maybe disappointed at yourself for that one. But Blaze managed to take home 4 points. The team who got the fastest lap in the end.
Yeah.
AT got the fastest lap in the end.
Yeah. Like last of all, I think it was actually in the last lap, or maybe between the safety cars. I think between the last 2 safety cars.
Yeah. Hopefully, next time out you get a bit more fortunate. I mean,
I guess so. Yeah. I think it was a little bit of a mindset as well after the drive-through.
this is gonna. I think it's gonna drop you down 1 point or 1 place in the constructors to Aston Martin, who obviously won the race today. But yeah, hopefully your luck improves in. What's the next race? I think it's in Britain actually. It's in Britain.
Yes.
Okay, that's a lovely race. Yeah, let's hope your luck improves in Britain.
Definitely.
Yeah, right. See you next time.
See you then.
See ya. Okay. Go to the ending screen now. Reminder, you can vote for your driver of the day, rich.net/vote, and we'll see you on Saturday for Japan in Tier 1.